Dastaks, that was a trading license, was being misused by the Britishers rampantly without even acknowledging the importance of the rule of Nawab. So of course this was one issue which was a conflicting issue. Second one was obviously they wanted to always fortify their trading ports or trading forts in fact. So of course fortification of Kolkata was always an issue between Sirajuddaula and the British East India Company. Rather, they wanted to increase the fortification. That's what actually Siraj did not want to give them the permission. All right. And thirdly, of course, the immediate issue was that Krishnababa. Now, this is one fact which is not mentioned in the NCERT, but this question can be asked to you. Krishnababa was a financier who was also in the court of Nawab, who was allegedly involved in some mismanagement of funds, and he was looking after by the state of Bengal, but the Britishers provided him the asylum without even abiding by the Nawab's order of letting Krishnababa to be handed over to the state of Bengal. This was not allowed by the Britishers, and therefore they were having the problem of differences between each other. And then finally you see that Siraj was of course quite we can say ambitious ruler, and he was able to even defeat in one occasion to the British company. He was able to even march on Calcutta, and he was able to occupy Fort William also somewhere around 1756. But the Britishers were so smart enough that they wanted to first of all weaken the Nawab and its support base, and therefore the intrigue and treachery, or you can say the backbiting was being done by the British East India Company against Nawab. And there are some names which are mentioned in the NCERT. These names are important for all of you, like Mir Jafar, Manik Chand, Amit Chand, Jagat Seth, Khadim Khan. Alright, so these all were the very influential people in the courts of Nawab, in the city of Calcutta also. And these people, they all betrayed Sirajuddaula in the Battle of Plassey. Alright, not only these but also Mahtab Rai, Swarup Chand, Raja Janak Ram, then Raja Ram Narayan. So these all were the Jamindars or the influential people who were in the court of Nawab, who all betrayed Sirajuddaula and finally supported or gave their support to the British East India Company. And finally Robert Clive was able to of course defeat Sirajuddaula in the Battle of Plassey. So on 23rd of June 1757, the Battle of Plassey was fought, in which English lost only 29 men, and the force of Nawab or Calcutta or Bengal, they lost more than 500 people in this war. Alright, Mir Jafar, Rai Durlab, now they were the commanders of Sirajuddaula's army. Now they all betrayed on the day of the war itself. Alright, only two people, I mean NCERT writes very clearly, only two people, Mir Madan and Mohan Lal. Mir Madan and Mohan Lal, who fought bravely with the forces of Siraj and finally gave away their life in defending the area of Bengal. Now this question has already been asked by UPSC, that who all supported Sirajuddaula in the Battle of Plassey in the midst of the treachery and intrigue against Nawab. So you have to remember these two names, Mir Madan and Mohan Lal. So these two people supported, otherwise all the others, they ditched Nawab, and finally Nawab of Bengal had to succumb under this particular war. And of course it is mentioned very clearly in the NCERT that Mir Jafar's son Miran, now he was there who killed Sirajuddaula. Alright, so finally Sirajuddaulla's story came to an end. And finally you see Mir Jafar coming into picture. Alright, so Mir Jafar comes into picture, but again Mir Jafar was having another round of difficulty to actually deal with the company. Alright, so Mir Jafar could not also allow the misuse of dastaks and the kind of, you can say, arrogance that was there with the British company was not acceptable to any Nawab. And finally he was also replaced by the company, and then finally Mir Qasim was reappointed, rather he was appointed as the new Nawab of Bengal. So Mir Qasim was there after replacing Mir Jafar. Now Mir Qasim again could not survive the pressure of the British company. So Mir Qasim was also not very much in support of the British company, and the way they were misusing the Dastaks, and they were using the entire territory, of course mindlessly, and of course they have no care with the Nawab's order, they have no care of the authority of Bengal government over there, and therefore even Mir Qasim was not very satisfied with this particular behavior of the company. Alright, so finally even Mir Qasim had to of course raise the voice, and not only raise the voice, rather he went ahead in terms of forming an alliance with Sujauddaulah of Awadh and Shah Alam II, the then Mughal ruler. Alright, so Shah Alam II, Sujauddaulah and Mir Qasim, they all formed a triple alliance, and finally they all again fought a battle. This was going to be a decisive battle, and that was a battle of Buxar. So Battle of Buxar in 1764 was a decisive battle, and in this battle, of course, the three forces were defeated together by the company, and this establishes the company's supreme power, supreme authority over the territory of India. And then afterwards, what we see that the company has become the unchallengeable master of Bengal, Bihar and Odisha, and even Awadh was under the mercy of the company. Alright, and at the same time, Shah Alam II, who was said to be the so-called legitimate ruler of the Mughal Empire, a Mughal, you can say kingdom, I would say, not empire. So even Shah Alam II was at the mercy of the company, fine, and therefore Shah Alam II had to accede the divine rights of Bihar, Bengal and Odisha to the company after signing an agreement of a Treaty of Allahabad. Alright, so this is what actually was done. And in this way, the British acquired the control over the territory of Bengal. Fine. And finally, what we realized that the company was now very clear in their approach in terms of exploiting the resources of Bengal very ruthlessly. And therefore, what they did, Mir Jafar was again reinstituted as the Nawab of Bengal once Mir Qasim ran away to form an alliance in Awadh. Alright, and then finally company was able to exploit the resources very badly across the region of Bengal, Bihar and Odisha. Fine. So Plassey and Buxar gave the company the unchallengeable power in India, and afterwards what we see that mindless, ruthless exploitation of the resources of Bengal, Odisha and of course Bihar. And it is simply understood very clearly that more than 30 million rupees were taken from the Nawab of Bengal by the company after the defeat of the Sirajuddaulah in the Battle of Plassey. Fine. And of course, NCRT very nicely writes that Bengal has been converted into Kam Dhenu, that is milching cow, for the company. And it is also said in the NCRT, because of the capturing of Bengal and its resources, they became so powerful that they were also able to defeat the French army, the French soldiers in the Third Carnatic War. And this is how they were able to establish their supremacy over the Indian territory largely. Fine. And that's very nicely written by Percival Spear, that this period was this period of the defeat of the Indian empires and the Indian rulers by the company was a period of open and unshamed plunder by the British company in India. So at every occasions they had only one intention: to exploit the resources of India for their own benefit. So you take the example of the Nawab of Bengal, of course Mir Jafar was again re-elected, and Mir Jafar was asked to offer the jamindari and other things, alright, and then the compensation of war. And apart from that, of course, they not only acquired the jamindari, but also they controlled the political affairs of Bengal completely. And in this particular context only, the concept of dual government started in Bengal. From there, the political intervention of the company would increase tremendously. Fine. So from here onwards, there would be a different dimension altogether in the list of the affairs of the company history in India. So now they will enter into the dual government setup, in which what they will do, they will not only intervene to the political affairs. They will also continue the economic exploitation of Bengal altogether. So, in the context of dual government, what the company did, the company created a post of Deputy Subedar, and the Deputy Subedar was appointed under the Nawab of Bengal. And Deputy Subedar was given the affairs of Nizamat, that is political administrative affairs. So the Deputy Subedar was appointed and of course was also able to be replaced only on the approval of the company. But he was supposed to act under the Nawab of Bengal. Alright. So indirectly Nawab of Bengal had nothing to do with this post of Deputy Subedar, but Deputy Subedar was responsible for all the administrative affairs in Bengal. So Deputy Subedar post was created to look after the political affairs in Bengal, and on the other hand all the economic and financial matters was still under the control of company directly. This is how the dual government was made to function. So in this system, Britishers were completely in a win-win situation. Why? Because they didn't have to spend a single money to look after the administration, but they had to exploit the resources completely for their own benefit, for their own existence, for their own expansion in India. This is how they got the benefit. At the same time, they owe no responsibility to look after the administration of India. But at the same time, they give all the responsibility to the Nawab of Bengal to become answerable to the common man of Bengal in terms of providing them a good level of administration. So this is how they played the entire bad politics in India, and finally they were able to ruin the entire economy afterwards. So we will be having the next dimension on the aspect of the British administrative affairs in India and how they were able to exploit the resources also in India. So the next chapter that is for you, that is chapter number 3, it is on structure of the government and economic policies of the British Empire in India between 1757 to 1857. This third chapter is the base for understanding the revolt of 1857 and the consequent episodes of modern India afterwards. So that's the reason why third chapter is one of the pillars of the entire modern India for all of you. So in the next video, we'll discuss about the third chapter completely. Okay, so thank you.